Hey guys, Marc Seymour TRG here, and thanks for joining me for the riteSCAN deep dive into purchase orders. I don't think anything more needs to be said. We're all familiar with a purchase order. Let's just simply sign in. And as per usual, riteSCAN presents us with the inventory landing page. I am using the riteSCAN Windows touchscreen client for demonstration. As with anything, feel free to browse the Android mobile deep dive videos, and there you will see what the handheld clients would look like should you be using mobile devices or handhelds. Okay, so let's fly straight into it. I'm going to jump straight onto the Orders tab, and I'm very quickly going to pop the PO receipt all. Now, there is a whole host of functionality and administration settings that can be applied here. We're going to start off very simply with a PO. And what riteSCAN does, as soon as I enter that purchase order number, riteSCAN calls SysPro and returns immediately with the stock code, the quantity outstanding, what's been received, and the total order quantity. So here we can see we've got order number 489. The supplier is Bicycles Unlimited. We have already received 16 of the B100s, and we have an outstanding quantity of 10 for lot 100 and a further 4 for the B100. Very straightforward and simple. I can either go ahead and scan the items that have been received. Remember, this is receiving, so it is likely to not carry barcodes that include your stock code. Here, if your supplier is barcoding goods and that particular barcode carries their stock code, we can use their stock code captured in specific fields in SysPro, which when scanned will automatically call up your SysPro stock code, meaning you do not need to potentially label everything you receive if that is the case. Okay, so carrying on, as mentioned, I could scan that stock code or very simply pick the line item I want to receive. What happens is riteSCAN presents the item card, and here I can see again, I'm looking at line 2, stock code B100, and I have an outstanding quantity of 16. I'm going to go ahead and just pick 10 of those items. Bin, we are operating within a multi-bin warehouse. If your facility is not a multi-bin setup or doesn't carry a multi-bin setup, riteSCAN will not ask for the capture of that bin. What do we have on hand? We have the query option. So here, if I want to, I can very quickly pop that up and it will show me any particular bins that I could receive into. In this case, I'm going to receive into bin N. What's quite useful from a receiving perspective, if you are a multi-bin facility, you have the option of receiving straight into that bin location. What is quite nice, potentially set up a receiving bin and receive that stock into a receiving floor bin and use a bin transfer to perform a put away following receipt. So what have we done here? We've just identified a quantity of 10, the bin that we're going to receive it into. We can then capture a reference and note, and of course a supplier delivery note number. Each of those fields we can force the capture of that relevant detail, ensuring that whatever information we want is required is captured. So here, just a dummy, I'm using delivery note 2015. I'll change that to 2019. And I'm just going to select save. What riteSCAN has done is it's positioned in the left-hand column an X under post. What would happen now is I could go and select another stock code and I could enter any particular information or quantity. The outstanding quantity here is telling me is 0, but you will notice something quite interesting on the top right-hand side. This item is flagged as an inspectable item within SysPro. So very clearly presented to the operator, inspection required is applicable to this product. I could continue, go ahead, enter my quantity, and because it's a lot traceable item, the lot number, if I'm using manual lot numbers in SysPro, I would capture that. If we're using automatic lot numbering, riteSCAN will obviously not request the capture of that lot detail. What riteSCAN also does here really powerfully is it allows for the configuration of lot numbers for manual lot entry. So if I want to use riteSCAN for the creation of a particular prefix or suffix or whatever configuration for my lot numbering at receiving, we can pre-configure that and use riteSCAN to suggest the next lot that we want to use, thereby allowing far more versatility in our lot numbering within SYSPRO. So we won't process here, we'll just carry on back. Just to demonstrate, the only line that is going to post through is the only line that has a quantity captured against it. Still, again, with that X. If I went ahead and selected post, what's going to return from riteSCAN is any particular warnings that SYSPRO wants me to see. So right here we can see that riteSCAN is telling us that the quantity exceeds the permitted supply variance percentage of 2.5%. These warnings you can enable or disable. In this particular instance, I have a variance percentage applied to this product, 2.5%. Do I want to continue? Either a yes or no, or a hard stop, or not at all, your choice. In this case, I'm just going to say yes, and riteSCAN is going to return with a post-successful message. That purchase order receipt has been processed. If you have now configured riteSCAN to generate any particular product labels, the screen will present and you can enter or default the quantity of labels that you want to receipt, and through integration to Bartender label printing software, we will print off the relevant number of labels required, which your team can then apply onto the product and make available for put away. Just a couple of things to note on this screen. You will see down the bottom right is the pallets option. Here, if you have taken a deep dive look into pallets on one of the other videos, you will already know this. But here, very simply, when I'm processing a purchase order receipt, I can receipt stock directly onto a pallet, while at the same time triggering off the creation of a pallet label. Here we can use riteSCAN either to generate IDs for us, or we can use our own pallet numbering sequence manually if we so choose. So here, very simply, riteSCAN can process the PO receipt, print off any product labels, and receipt onto a newly created pallet if you so choose in a single transaction. What else can we do? If we take a look under other, we will see apportionment. Those familiar with freight apportionment and that functionality within SYSPRO, here again, you can add any particular freight apportionment, any merchandise or non-merchandise cost that you want to apply. You can have that added onto the receipt. Again, if you are using the freight apportionment function in SYSPRO, here, that will then push through with the post and have that value amended. Okay, so that was a really quick deep dive into PO receipt functionality within riteSCAN. If you have any particular questions surrounding this, or you would like to understand how this can be applied or implemented into your environment, please get hold of us at sales@trg.co.za. Otherwise, feel free to visit any of the additional deep dive videos. If pallets is your thing and a pallets is required, please take a look at the deep dive for pallets. Otherwise, thank you for your time, and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.